Hey, my name is Ria Waller, and I'm your instructor for CIT93 JavaScript online at Fresno City College. I love this class, and I say that completely from my heart because I love JavaScript. I mean, to Java, oh, wait, let's do a proper art for JavaScript. It's way popular, way practical. And so having this skill set is great to add to your tool belt. And this semester, I'm very excited because we are trying something new at Fresno City College with this particular course. Normally, this course, and it's been taught in several different modes over the last couple of years, mostly since I've taken it on, I've been trying new things as far as the way we're teaching these classes. So what I'm doing this semester is normally this class has been taught in the 18-week mode. And I say this as, the whole semester. But this semester, we're moving it to a 9-week mode. And what that means is we're doing 9 weeks at the beginning of the semester with JavaScript client side. And then many of you are continuing on with me for the back 9 for Node.js, which is JavaScript on the server. But not all of you, but a large portion of you are, which is awesome. And it really makes sense because this gives you the ability to do a pretty deep dive on JavaScript, both client and server. And so I'm recording this message about 3 weeks before the semester starts, and you might wonder why. Well, honestly, I want to give you a head start on understanding what the course required materials are. I'll go over that in a minute. And second is just to give you an idea of how this course will run. I have some of the course already set up. Some of it I need to work on. I have a pretty good idea how I'm going to run parts of this course. But I'm really releasing it to give you that heads up. And for those of you that feel like you want to get started a little early, you can do that. There is quite a bit of course content you can imagine in a 9-week compressed mode that you would have normally. And this is a programming course. So we are attempting to give you a skill in the next 9 weeks. And so there are obviously moving parts to give you that skill base. And maybe not obviously because you don't have a look at the course yet. But after I finish recording this particular, what I call the welcome video, I am going to release the course and send you all a message. And hopefully that's why you're here watching it. Okay. But the thing I'd like to say, besides what I've already said, which is it's a compressed class, is that there are going to be 2 times during the semester, even though this is a 100% online course, that you're going to need to see me directly one-on-one. And I'm giving you either the online option to do that, and we'll talk more about what that means, or you can come in and see me. And I already have these dates set on the schedule, so you know when that is, and it'll be basically in the middle and at the end. But again, more detail coming about that. I really say it here so that you understand that there are 2 times a semester that you and I have to connect. And what we're going to do during these times is we're doing a code review. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be learning from a course I've selected on Udemy. Very good course, very good instructor. So you'll be watching that course every week. I already have a schedule laid out for that. In addition, you will be doing what I call or term learn together. So what we're going to do is take the things we're learning with Andrew's course. We're going to add on top of that some things that I feel is important for you to learn, in addition to really helping you get ready for these very important code reviews that you will have during the semester. Okay, so that's the purpose of this video, is to introduce you to the course, tell you the materials, give you a little idea of how it works. So I'm going to switch over my screen now to show you the course itself. So this particular semester, I'm teaching 4 different classes. Yours is here. But I am also teaching a 82 Introduction to Web Development. And this is the second 9 weeks, which is Node.js. And then also I will be teaching machine learning. So if you want to know more about these courses, please ask me. I may say more about them during the semester. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and click into our course so that we can take a look at it. So here we are at week 1. Now, my screen is going to look different than yours, okay? But not a lot different because you'll have this broken down by weeks. And actually what you will see is here's the welcome message. So let's actually go ahead and click into it because there is something specific I want you to do for me if you're watching this before the start of the semester. I'm considering switching. So in the past, I have used Google Hangouts for our real-time interactive chat for all of us in the class. But Hangouts is going away, so I'm considering changing. I'm not considering I have to change. The question is, what do I change to? So what I've done here is I've created a Google form to give you the ability to vote. And whatever we collectively choose is what I'm going to use not only for this course, but for the rest of my courses. And so I want you to choose 2 of the following, right? So if you've heard Slack, you're on Slack, you like it, cool. If you know anything about Microsoft Teams, which is very popular, I'm doing a little more research about Teams. And then there's a product called Zoom. There's a product called Skype. And there may be some other that I haven't considered, right? So if you would, again, this is really most valuable before the start of the semester because by the time the semester starts, I want to have selected this and already implemented it. But if you're watching this before the start of the semester and would like to give me some feedback, that would be great. Let me actually be specific because I'm going to look at the calendar. I'm sitting right now at the 22nd. I will have released this. You will have gotten a welcome message. That means we have 1, 2, and really 3 weeks before the semester starts. Okay, so I like to do these before several weeks to give you a chance to kind of look at the course. But also in this case, I'm asking for some specific feedback or your input really here. Okay. So, and then this is also a discussion board. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask, here's a great place to do that. You can also email me in the Canvas if you have a question that you want to ask me about as well. If you don't want to ask, because this everyone will see, and if you want to use the inbox for me directly, that's fine as well. I will over time encourage you to use more of whatever we select because most of the time questions are beneficial for everyone to see. Okay, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the course here, clicking the home, because what I want to do in a moment is move to the syllabus. I think that's just kind of what we'll focus some of this time. But what I want you to know before I go look at the syllabus, that I have released at least some of the content, and more specifically the required course from Udemy that you will be using, and I've laid it out here. I will show you in a minute another place I've done this. But you can see that for each week we have 2 due dates, a Monday night due date, and that's the other thing is because this is a compressed mode, I actually do have something due on the first night of the semester. So working ahead is a benefit. Otherwise, you'll be working right at the beginning of the semester. So we have a code up, we have a learn together, and then the following week, another code up, another learn together. And this remains consistent until the first week that we do our develop it, our code reviews. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go back up here for a second because before I look at this content, I'm going to go over to syllabus and I'm going to open it in a new tab. That way I don't have to keep switching between tabs. So here's our course. Here's my, as of right now, office hours. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from noon to 12:50, I'm on campus. On Thursday from 5 to 6, I'm going to be at Bitwise, the Hive downtown. I'll give you addresses for these later. And Friday, I have a virtual office hour. Okay? This course runs until October 11th, and I would say the bulk of it is actually is the 10th. It's the day before that, but more on that later. But here's the part you're probably wondering about, and it's what's required. I really am proud of this fact that I'm using a course that is relatively inexpensive. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and click on this, which is Udemy. It's called Modern JavaScript Bootcamp. And when this comes up, because I'm already logged in, it's going to show me the current price is at $12. Now this is going to vary based on if you have a Udemy account or not. So one of the things I would recommend you do pretty quickly, if you don't already, is create a Udemy account. Because what I've noticed is over time, they do a bit more marketing to you, and you typically see the cost of courses drop based on what you're interested in, so you could go look at this course even before you get it, just to kind of look at the content if you're interested in that, which we're going to end up doing 10 sections in here, which I think is great. I think we go all the way through, is this 10? I don't think they have them numbered here, but I have them numbered so we can look at that. And I think actually we get all the way through. Let me go look at this 4 other sections here. Yeah, we get actually all the way through until asynchronous JavaScript. And the only reason I didn't cover that is if you're continuing on with the Node.js, we're going to talk about that concept in the other course. Okay, so I kind of took a little detour there, but I wanted to show you, here's the link of the course you're going to need. It should be reasonably priced. I had $19.99, but obviously you can see it was cheaper. My base recommendation is for you to go ahead, get a Udemy account, pretty easy to set up. Maybe go ahead and click into the course, review it if you want, see how much it costs you, and then kind of wait for a little bit to see if you get marketed with a cheaper price. Okay, there are other ways on the internet for you to get cheaper Udemy courses. I don't recommend them because I've never used them, so my base recommendation is as I've talked about. Okay, so here is the schedule that we have. I actually have the full sheet, but this is the schedule for what I've set for our 9 weeks. And you can see when when the sections are that we're going to be doing. And I call these sections from the Udemy course, they're termed Code Up, because that's what you're doing, is you're coding along, you're learning as Andrew's covering this content. And then here each week on Thursday, we have the Learn Togethers, where we take this content to the next step. And then you have the 2 Develop It's and when those fall. Okay. And again, you can review the other content that's listed in here. I do have a new section here about code review if you want to look at that, but those are required. And as a matter of fact, if you look down here, you can see how many code ups, how many learn togethers, and how many develop it's. And you can see what percentage. So these develop it's obviously have a high impact to your grade, and I consider them to be the most important part. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and come back to here. So now that I've talked about this, I want to give you a little heads up about the week 1 in case you want to move forward, which is fine, which by the way, if you don't until the beginning of the semester, that's fine as well. But I want to tell you this. Today, before I recorded this particular video, I went through and reviewed the content and the videos I had created from last time we ran this course. And I found them to be good content. Now, the only thing that was actually different was that this semester, and here's where I have you create directories on your local system. But in this first Code Up, it's not a lot of content out on the Udemy course. So what I'm having you do is walk through the creation of your GitHub accounts. And if you don't know what GitHub is, you probably haven't taken some of my other courses, which is CIT15 or a CIT82, because that's where I've introduced these. And it's okay if you haven't, but you're going to need GitHub, as what really is it's a place where we can have our code, the code that you're writing, so that you will write the code locally and you will do a workflow to put it out on GitHub so that I can then review it. Okay, so we'll be using GitHub from day 1 through this course. And this step right here where you set up your GitHub and then you email me and then I add you into what's called a GitHub organization is a way important thing, because for you to complete the rest of this, you need to have done that piece. Okay? So important is make sure you get step one done, so that, because if you're waiting until day one of the semester and you're waiting until late at night, I may not see your particular request to add you. And by the way, I do talk about this again in here. So this is a little bit of a repeat, but really important information. So I don't feel bad about repeating here. But again, this is the beginning, and I want to make sure you understand that's a piece that is important to get done, because A, this has been moved up in the schedule because it's a 9-week, not an 18-week. And I am using content from a prior semester that I created, but I think it's all very good. I reviewed it today. This last message here was really talking about in his course, and I'll just tell you that in the very beginning, the beginning section on setting up your machine, he talks about the idea of, if you're on Windows, using a program called Commander. And I have found this program not to be really necessary, because when you in this course do the GitHub install, which you will do, so we're using GitHub, that's the site. You have to install Git locally. On Windows and even on other operating systems, you will get something called Git Bash, and that will allow you to run command line. So what I really want you to know more than anything is that he says Windows only, install Commander. I have found that you can get by, and probably get in that context doesn't make sense, but you don't need Commander. But if you're interested, you're welcome to go ahead and do that. The important part is that you can follow along with this particular video that talks about terminal. And so if you're running into any issues, again, contact me. But by the time you see this, there's chances are we're going to have a way for you to ask questions of everybody in the course. Okay? So there's 3 videos to walk you through this particular assignment. What you're going to end up doing at the end is just giving me a link. You're only writing a little bit of code for section 1 and 2. More than anything, it's really about setting up your local environment. Okay, so the sooner you get this particular one done, the better. And I did also release Learn Together Week 1. I'm going to modify the list a little bit, but I don't think very many of you will get there by the time I've modified that. And before the semester starts, my goal is actually to have the first 3 weeks completely ready to go. Okay, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to tell you. That's quite a bit of content just to get started, right? So I'm glad you're here. I look forward to what is going to come in this course. I look forward to meeting all of you. I will get to meet you by our first code review, but please don't hesitate to come see me. Like I said, I'll be on campus on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, I'll be down at the Hive downtown, which, by the way, might be an easier way to see me because it'll be late, early evening, late afternoon. So, you'll have varieties of ways, and of course through email to Canvas. And I will, again, if you fill out my form, you'll help determine which product we're going to use for this class. So glad you're here. Let me just end with that idea that it's right here in the welcome. And that's the link to the form if you want to give me your input on which product I'm going to use for our live interactions. Have a great rest of your summer, and I'll talk to you soon.